The good news is my gratitude journal is finally done, finally officially available to purchase, to look at. I'm going to put the links to everything in the description. If you're new around here, this is my third video documenting my process with Amazon KDP, and the short version is that 2 years ago I started this process and quickly discovered after hours and hours and hours of hard work that the upload process was much more complicated than I had been led to believe. And so I stopped trying and thought it just wasn't for me, thought maybe someday I could pick it back up. Well, that was 2 years ago. I recently was going through YouTube and found someone talking about this topic and mentioning a new feature that would make things much easier for me. I don't know if it existed before, but I was really excited. And so I started the process again and finished it. So I'm here to tell you today, it is finished. It is uploaded. One of you already purchased it. Thank you so much. That was very good sleuthing skills because I didn't link to it anywhere. So thank you so much for your purchase. But anyways, I want to tell you something very important that one of you out there told me, and thank you so much for this comment, because on my previous video when I said, oh, I'm still waiting for the look inside feature for my journal to be available so people can see what the inside looks like. Maybe it was 2 of you. There were, I think, 1 or 2 of you that said in the comments that actually the look inside feature is not available for journals, basically low content books on Amazon KDP. So on one hand, I was really disappointed because I really wanted people to be able to see inside, because that's a huge feature of shopping is, do I want this journal? Well, I don't know. Let me open it up and look inside. So while I was really disappointed to hear that people would not get to see the inside to see if it was even something that they would like when it arrived, I am so grateful to you all for watching and for leaving me really helpful tips. And there are other ones. Anyone who's new here, go down in the description and watch those other videos and go through the comments, because there's some really helpful tips and comments there. So thank you again for telling me that I don't need to keep waiting and waiting for this feature to be available, because it won't. So I was disappointed that it wouldn't be available, but I was very grateful to all of you that you let me know. And so I stopped waiting. So now I knew I could do this video and tell you all that to say that my gratitude journal is available. And so I created this journal on Canva. And as many of you know, Canva is a free design app. Well, I mean, you could do it on desktop, but I use the app. So it's designed for free, basically. And they have a lot of help. So if you're someone who feels like, I'm not creative, I don't know how to design things, it's been really a lifesaver. It's helped me with so many things. So that's what I used. I created and designed the front cover and the inside content on Canva, and then uploaded it digitally to Amazon KDP, where you can order the hardback or the paperback. And so it's available on there. So I want to talk about pricing. The pros and cons on pricing. When I set out to make this journal, I wanted to make it really affordable, because I know that feeling when either someone you follow or someone that you know is selling something and you want to support them. And then you go and you're like, okay, I want to support you. What are you selling? And then you look at the thing, you're like, oh, really? That's the price? Oh my word. You know, like, it's like, I want to support you, but come on. So, I didn't want that to happen. But the way I designed this journal, I wanted it to be color images on the inside, not knowing that 2 years ago, when I spent hours and hours and hours and hours creating this design, that the images and formatting that I chose, I made them like different shades of pink. So they're background pictures. You can see them, whoa, bumped my desk. You can see them as you go through and write in the different pages of the journal, but I liked how it looked. It just was something that came to me and to do it that way. And so they're different shades of pink in the background. And so then when I went to upload my journal, it said, do you want this to print in black and white when people buy it? Or do you want this to be color on the inside? I'm like, color, of course. I don't want all my beautiful pink pictures that I chose and arranged and put together. I don't want it to be gray or black and white. And so I chose color. So then I go through the whole process. At the end, the very last thing they say pretty much is, how much do you want to charge? And they actually give you a minimum amount that you can charge, because they say, this is how much it will cost to print and mail this journal. And I was very surprised, because the cost of print is closer to what I was thinking would be a great cost to charge. I had no idea that choosing color would make it that much more expensive. And so that was the hard spot to be in, because I want to make a profit. Obviously, I'm not just doing this because it was fun. It was fun, and I am really behind the message of it, which I'll get into after I talk about pricing. I'm very into the message of the Honest Journal. That's what it's called, the Honest Gratitude Journal. I'm very wholeheartedly behind the message and the purpose of that gratitude journal. But I was disappointed by the pricing. I didn't want it to come at a higher cost. So depending on your budget, if you take a look at it, if you're intrigued after you hear my idea of the message behind the journal, if you're intrigued by that and then you see the price, if it's beyond your budget, I totally understand. But if it's something that you think like you could splurge on, or if you know someone that, if you're saving up and you can give it as a gift, then it's for you. So anyways, I just wanted to say that I know that the price is much, much higher to me. Everybody's different. According to me and what I budget for gifts or for splurging on things for myself, it's much higher than I would spend, honestly. But it cost a certain amount to print each journal, and then I still wanted a profit. So that is something to consider if you're on this process. Who is your target audience? What are they willing to pay? I will say, here's another thing that I did. I actually went on to Amazon before I set my price, and I searched for gratitude journals, and I searched for best-selling gratitude journals, because that would tell me what's really popular. What are people actually willing to buy? I actually chose the top 2 prices that I saw. So there's a chance that people will still pay this price, because the top 2 journals are the same prices that I chose for my hardback and my paperback. Okay, on to gratitude and the purpose behind my journal called the Honest Gratitude Journal. The message behind it is, you shouldn't have to pretend everything is great in order to be grateful. So I've lived this personal experience. I've, as you have, probably been through really, really hard times in the past, maybe in your present. But in the past, there's one particular time in my life where I was having a very, very hard time. And then I learned all about gratitude and thankfulness. And it seemed to be a really great antidote for the place that I was at emotionally. I was just really stuck emotionally, feeling very bitter about life and how things were going. I guess you could call it like a quarter life crisis. I had graduated from college, and I didn't feel like I knew where I was going in my career. And anyways, I will put a link to that video. It's called My Non-Traditional Career Path. Maybe that will be encouraging to some of you who are trying to figure things out. But anyways, so during a hard time, like in my life that I just mentioned, I learned about gratitude and thankfulness. So I started thanking God for the hard things as they happened, for the frustrating things as they happened, in the midst of the hard things. And it really, really transformed my life. It's what I needed, absolutely what I needed. The problem is, it started to get to the point where a lot of the things I was hearing and experiencing made it seem like you needed to go straight to gratitude right away. Thank God for the hard thing. But here's the thing. If you don't acknowledge the thing that is hard first, then you end up like stuffing either the anger or the sadness that you're feeling. So for example, if I was feeling really angry about something or really sad about something, I would skip the part where I'd say, I'm really sad or I'm really angry about whatever. I wasn't honest with myself. I would just go, okay, God, thank you so much for this hard thing. And I'd be specific about it. It worked for a while, but I'm telling you, after a few years of that, it didn't have the effect that it used to have. And I realized years later, part of the problem was I wasn't experiencing the equally healing effects of being honest about my difficult feelings, and that I wasn't being bitter just because I was saying I feel sad or I feel angry. It wasn't self-pity. It wasn't, it was, let me just put it this way. It is spiritually and physically better for me when I am honest and say, you know, I feel angry about this, or I feel sad about this, or this was a really lame part of my day. That was really horrible. So all that to say, I don't want people to feel like they have to just have a gratitude journal or a piece of paper and say, you know what, at the end of every day, I just write down all the good things, or even in the midst of the hard things, I say, thank you for the hard thing. Those are great. I don't want to knock that. But I don't feel like we have to jump right to that. So in this journal, the Honest Gratitude Journal, it has space for both. It has a spot where it says, I can't remember the exact wording, but it's something like things that happened today that were hard. And there's a space for you to write that. And then underneath it says how this made me feel. And on the other side of the page, like on the other side of the open book, says things that went well today or things I'm grateful for today. And then underneath it says how this makes me feel. And it just goes day after day after day like that. There's a spot for the date and then a spot for that day, the things that were hard, how it makes you feel, and the things that were good and how it made you feel. Because for me, that's helpful. If this isn't helpful for you, then that's okay. Then it's not for you, and there's nothing wrong with that. If your gratitude practice is really, really healing for you, that's awesome. That's the beautiful thing about the world, that we're all different and different things help us. But for me, this has been life-changing. And so I thought, for any of you out there that this resonates with, maybe it would be helpful. Maybe it would be encouraging. So the Honest Gratitude Journal is available for purchase in hardback, paperback. I will put the links to all that in the description if you're interested. Also, feel free just to look at it if you're curious. You won't be able to see the inside, but you will get to see the outside cover. If you are curious, the inside, as I mentioned, it has those different sections, and there just is a lot of pink. So just be aware, if pink is not your thing, then just know there's a lot of pink inside. But if you're cool with pink, I think you're gonna like it. So that is my journey with Amazon KDP, uploading and selling my Honest Gratitude Journal. So it feels weird. Like, this is my third video. It's like, is this the end of the journey? No, because you know what? I think I'll keep you all posted on if this was all worth it or not. Because that's also what I want to know. It's all just a big experiment. Because as you know, people make it sound like everyone should do this, you're going to make thousands, and anyway, you all know. You're watching this video because we're probably in the same boat. So I will keep you posted. In the meantime, the other videos that I post on this channel, I don't just talk about entrepreneurial side hustle things. I also talk about just different topics in life. So, feel free to see what else I offer. Though this is just one of the things I talk about is online business. things. Thank you so much for watching, and I will keep you posted on how things go.